Good morning. I have I'm excited to come before you today to just give you a general update on some things that are going on. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Thursday. So far, I mean, it's been a short week, so kind of had to jump past. Jump. It's like it's Thursday. Is it Wednesday? Tomorrow's Friday. You gotta love, these short work weeks. Not that there's a short work week at all when you're in my position. I found out that definitely it is 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And I have absolutely no problem with it. Let me just go ahead and share this live to my personal page and then we will jump right on in. How about this weather though? It's real interesting when we get to the point in the season when it changes. When it goes from just hot, 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 hot to do you wear shorts? No. Open toes? Yes and no. You kind of don't know exactly what to do. Um, I love summer. I love summer. Well, feel free. This is a chat. I got a lot of information I'm going to be sharing. Feel free to type in the comments. You guys know I love, love, love dialogue. Alrighty. So I got it shared to my other page, and I am going to go ahead and begin. Well, the first thing I wanted to do is, what's today? Today is Thursday. It's a short week. So probably early next week, you will receive your September, October newsletter, probably Tuesday, I would say. Your September, October newsletter from the city of Mullins. So I'm just going to give you guys a sneak peek at what will be in the newsletter. Okay, and if you have any questions about anything that I'm going to cover from the newsletter, feel free to just drop them right there in your comments. All right, so September 27th is Golden Leaf Festival, y'all. And it's so interesting. One, I want everybody to realize that the Golden Leaf Festival is a separate and distinct entity from the city of Mullins. So the city of Mullins is a huge partner, obviously, of the Golden Leaf Festival. We are the Golden Leaf City, but the entity that plans the Golden Leaf Festival is a separate entity. So, like you, I am, interested to see what's going to happen, who's going to be doing what. I know on the beautification committee, we've had some talks about how we're going to decorate Main Street, but I'm not going to let you know just yet. So you have to join the beautification committee meetings to hear more about that. But so it's an exciting time. And I remember when I would come back, because it would be around this time, um, just before this time, when I would be picking up my kids who were spending the summer with my mother-in-law, and you could smell the tobacco, right? So we are the Golden Leaf City, and I love to see us embrace it, right? Because people also talk to me about back when it was the tobacco harvesting season and how everybody would come to Mullins and it was just like a really big boom. So we're going to get back to that. It may not be around harvesting tobacco, but our future is bright. So we're going to get back to that. So right now, on your newsletter, you'll see an advertisement, reminding you that the Golden Leaf Festival is September 27th. That's a Saturday. The schedule right now is there's a parade at 10 a.m., which I will be in a parade with my walkers. So we will have some candy to hand out. And if anybody wants to walk with me in a parade, hit me up on DM. Usually I have kids, but we walk the whole parade route and we hand out candy. I will do a welcome at 11 a.m. And also sometime during the day, we'll present the winner of the My Dream City art contest. So really excited about that. The music on stage will start at noon and go to 6. And it's going to be level 10 band that's going to be playing at noon. So that's going to be great. A lot of fun. Make sure you bring your chairs. And then the food and crafters will be out there from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. So why am I not wearing my glasses? I don't know, y'all. I'm trying to read without my glasses. So that's the Golden Leaf Festival on September 27th. On September 11th, so that's the day that, you know, a very tragic day in American history. And it's a day that we all want to remember, never want to forget. And I am happy to say that the community and is working, the community, the schools, and the city are working together to put on a commemoration that you don't want to miss. Me personally, on September 11th, I was in Philly. It was a very difficult time. Ed Levon has been working with the school district. She was actually in DC at the time and in the military. She's since retired from the military. The school is going to be doing, I think it's the ROTC is going to be doing the passing of the flag. We will have our our own heroes will be there. Our first responders. These are the people that go in, hey Katina, that go in and save us, so they will be there as well. So it's going to be a very nice program, I am sure. I've seen the agenda. It's going to be held across from the library. It'll be across from the library at Old Brick Square. So that's the first time we'll be actually using Old Brick Square for an event, but it will be across from the library at Old Brick Square. And then also on September 27th, before the Golden Leaf Festival, it's going to be Moonshine in Mullins and Marion County Walking Tour. So very grateful for Marion County um, Healthcare Foundation for providing the city of Mullins with a grant so that we can do these walking tours. And the walking tours are done by Rhonda Bain. If you have not done them, you got to do it. She is a wealth of knowledge. It's very entertaining. I believe she's starting at Awaken, but you do have to RSVP because it does go very fast. And again, thank you so much, Marion County Healthcare Foundation, and it's no charge. But you definitely want to get your tickets. You could come up to City Hall or call in to RSVP, or there's a QR code for you when you get your newsletter next week. So that'll be 9 a.m. right before the parade comes through. I'm gonna come back to the calendar. Um, so we have been working and the Public Works Committee has been working with Taurus Gilcrease to come up with some changes, some little tweaks to how we handle trash pickup, trash and debris and recyclable pickup in the city of Mullins. So definitely big ups to the city council for working together to come up with new processes, and also to Taurus for all that his guys have been doing to, it's a lot, right? Public works encompasses streets, encompasses trash and buildings. There's a whole lot to do. And we really, lawn care. So we really appreciate everything that they've done and the pride and care that they take in our community. So here are the changes. And I'm not going to be the only one that's going to tell you about the changes. We will definitely reinforce those changes. Um, Thank you so much, Katina. We're going to reinforce those changes, but let me kind of break it down for you a little bit. And it's going to be on your newsletter. So, so as it relates to your regular household trash, that's normal. Nothing changes. Your trash day is not changing. You pull out your cart, that all remains the same for the most part. The only one minor tweak in that is that you must now put your cardboard in the trash can, right? So some people have been putting cardboard separately on the side of the road. No, not anymore. You take your cardboard boxes, you break them down, and you put them inside your trash can. That's going to help us to keep our streets clean and sidewalks clean because you don't have to put them on the side of the road anymore, right? So your cardboard. So you get something from Amazon and you get a box, break that box down, put it inside of your trash can. And if you need another trash can, you can order another trash can. You will have to pay additional for that trash can, but you can do that. All right. So for those of us that may have a home business and and you're doing a lot of cardboard boxes, you may want to get another trash can. But, just when you get those cardboard boxes, break them down, put them inside the trash can. So that is for so again, remember, I'm just recapping the changes that are going to be happening with trash. Your normal trash doesn't change. Put your trash in the trash can, take it out to the curb on the same day that you take it out to the curb. Cardboard boxes, do not put cardboard boxes on the curb. Put cardboard boxes inside of your trash can. Break them down, put them inside your trash can. Debris. Debris are things like leaves and haynet leaves and trees and things like that that you do. So if you have a contractor that's coming and cutting down a tree, make sure that you put in your contract with them that they have to take that stuff away, right? The city is not responsible for picking up a whole tree that you had a contractor cut down. Now, if you're going through and trimming your own trees and bushes and raking your leaves, which is about time to do because the leaves are going to be coming down, especially some of these beautiful magnolia trees and things like that, you need to adhere to this schedule. So on the north side of town, and there's a map that will be in your newsletter. And if you don't know, you can always call City Hall at 843-464-9583. So you call City Hall and say, hey, when are they picking up my debris again? We're going to be doing this weekly. Pick up on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays on the north side of town, and Thursdays and Fridays on the south side of town. Okay, so this way, with these minor changes and tweaks, what we're hoping is that we won't have the situation where, trash or debris is not being picked up or is out there for long periods of time, because the team will have certain routes to cover. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, north side, Thursday, Friday, south side. Now things can change, holidays and all that jazz. But let's say, and that's debris. So we've covered regular trash, no changes. Cardboard boxes, you put the cardboard, take it apart, break it down, put it inside the trash can. And debris. Debris is trees and limbs and things like that. Now, if you have something big, couches, furniture, even TVs, all those things that, customary, you would just put them on the curb, are not permitted to do that anymore. What you will need to do is you will need to call City Hall, 843-464-9583, and then they will tell you when you can put that out, okay? So special waste shall include, but not limited to, large bulky items such as refrigerators, stoves, water heaters, sofas, box chairs, large console television sets, etc. Do not place them at the curb. You have to call City Hall. And then when you call City Hall, they will give you a date. And that's when you put it on a curb. Now, this will be, our code enforcer will be giving folks warnings because it's going to take us a while, right? We didn't get this to this point in a day, and we're not going to get out of it in a day. So help your neighbors, right? Let's say your neighbor didn't get the message from me or for their local city council person or the newsletter or the Facebook page. They just didn't hear the information in a very, very nice way. Just let them know, hey, look, we're not putting our debris out today. Our debris goes out on Thursdays. Or, hey, I see you put that mattress on the curb. You got to call City Hall. You cannot leave that mattress on the curb. Remind them to bring that in. Or if they put boxes out, remind them, hey, you can put your boxes in your trash can. So we do believe that that's going to go a long way in helping us to beautify our city, which is really important. All right. Any questions on the trash? Let me see. All righty. No questions, no questions. Did that make sense? I hope I was able to explain, it's going to be in your newsletter, but hopefully I've been able to explain it as well. All right. So I want to go through the calendar very briefly because we know the Mullins Ministerial Alliance is meeting. And what the Mullins Ministerial Alliance is, it's a committee of religious leaders, and we get together and they pray for the city. And they also come up with ideas that the religious, because, our Mullins is based on, we all are very religious, conscious minded people. So I would be remiss if religious leaders didn't have a seat at the table from the very beginning. So we meet every other month. And the next MMA meeting, Mullins Ministerial Alliance, is Tuesday, the 9th, and it is a breakfast meeting at 9 a.m. Then we have our city council meeting on the same day. The beautification committee, if you can be part of beautification, mark this down. That's Wednesday, September 10th at 5:30. And we need your help, right? So it is on us. People ask me, I think, three things, right? Mayor, we need jobs. We need jobs. We need high paying jobs. We need living wage jobs so that we can support our family. We need housing, right? We need housing, which is really important. And the third thing is we need something to do. So I want to let you know we are actively working on all three, right? So, but as it relates to the jobs, beautification is very important because when we're talking to, it's actually critical and key. Because as we're talking to, future investors, people that want to move their business to Mullins, they want to drive around. They want to see what it looks like. What's the community like? What's the vibe, right? If you see somebody on the street that you don't know, say, hey, how you doing? Having a good day? We want to be that city. And I will tell you, of all the cities that I visited, Conway was that city. When I went to Conway, just getting out my car, people was just nice. That makes a difference. That's someplace, yeah, I can move my business here. These are the folks I want shopping in my stores. These are the folks I want to hire to work in my factory. So it's a very big part of it. And so that is beautification. And it's awesome to see community members stepping up and saying, the way I see it is they're saying, I see these things too, and I want my city to be better. And I think that's absolutely awesome. Bill Coleman last weekend, him and his crew went out. So thank you so much. And they cleaned up the curbs on Main Street. It's what he does for a living. So he kind of knew that, this needed to be done. And, if you have a business or something that was you know, blessed by Bill Coleman and his crew, I just ask that you continue to um, keep it up. Okay. But that was really, really nice of him. And also Miss Pam Anderson. I've been seeing posts of the cemetery. Now, the cemetery guys, thank you so much, Ms. Pam, for donating your own resources to help us. Even in a little bit, it all matters, right? So the cemeteries, let me just back up a little bit and explain. Right now, the cemeteries do not belong to the city of Mullins. So we cannot send our staff into the cemeteries. So in some cases, the cemetery is not safe. We have to do something about it. But for me, I'm looking at the longer term approach. The beautification committee is doing everything they can. We have some funds that are raised. We've been looking at hiring people to go in to the cemetery to cut the grass. But cutting the grass is just one part. We've got tombstones that need to be dealt with. It's all kinds of things that need to be dealt with in the cemetery. So any citizen that is going to get in and do what they've done to help the cemetery is a major, major blessing. Also, Anderson Brothers Bank, we had vandalism. Somebody ran into the brick wall and they replaced that brick wall. So that is a blessing because, again, the city cannot do it. We could not take those city resources and do anything in the cemetery because it's not our land. I'm hoping maybe someday we're doing research. So myself and Kim Bird, we actually went to the archives and we're doing research to see like at who owns the cemeteries because there's no name, right? One says, I'm gonna tell you about it in a second, but actually who owns that cemetery? We don't have clear ownership, right? So if something were to happen to, God forbid, a city person, in the cemetery and would workers' comp cover it? We know we couldn't put in a claim for the wall because it's not our wall. All right. So that's kind of one of the challenges. So there's actually the, if you look at the map, the GIS, there's 4 to 5 parts of the cemetery, which is on both sides. And so Kim and I, we went to try to research what was going on, who owned it, does the city actually own the cemeteries? And what we confirmed is the city does not own the cemeteries, but there's some gray areas, some interesting things happened way back when in the past, right? So City of Mullins started off as Reeves Township, and then it became City of Mullins. Well, there was City of Mullins, and then it was North Mullins. And then North Mullins and the City of Mullins became one. The cemetery was in North Mullins. So, interestingly enough, we have the mayor's cemetery, and then right now, so on the side of this where the school is, where the elementary school is, there is the mayor's cemetery, and then right next to that is what we found in the archives labeled as the colored cemetery. When I saw that with my own eyes, I was gasped. Um, 2 reasons. One, it just really connected me to my African American history. That wow, here is a cemetery that's labeled the colored cemetery. And 2, it also presents us with an opportunity. So an opportunity because there's there's research, there's data, there's potential funding available for slave cemeteries, historically African American cemeteries, and so forth. And back in 2021, I had spoke at a slave cemetery in Wahi in Marion, in Wahi in Marion County, and it was very emotional as well. Very emotional, very moving. Out there, there were very little markers, but there were some markers. So we have some research to do. But to me, those cemeteries on both sides are very, very rich in history. That's our ancestry, and it deserves to be treated with respect. And I'm doing everything in my power to do that research to find out, okay, what is what. On the other side, they're actually Confederate soldiers that are buried there, and the bronze insignias are still on their tombs, right? So there's a lot of history that sit in our cemeteries, but I do want you all to understand it is not safe, right? They need to be, they need to be safe. Grass needs to be cut. They need to be maintained. Tombstones need to be fixed. There's a lot that needs to happen, and it's not going to be a quick fix. Some people have said it's an embarrassment, and I agree. It is, but we got to fix it, right? We got to fix it. We got to do it right, and we will get around to it. So, meanwhile, everybody who's chipping in there, I appreciate you. The city of Mullins appreciates you, and there's going to be a lot more to come. A lot more to come on those topics. So, but I got to this point because the beautification committee they meet on Wednesday, September 10th. So that's next Wednesday, right here at 5:30. And if you have a heart for flowers, gardening, neatness, cleaning, trimming, painting, any of those things, we need you. We need you. We really need you. And the beautification committee, they have a lot planned for the holidays, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. So if you can think about joining the beautification committee, then on the 11th, September 11th, if you can all come, because we could never forget what happened on September 11th. And the work that EDLA, the school district, and our first responders are doing to prepare is pretty cool. So I would like for you guys to participate in the first event of this type that we're having in the city of Mullins. The Mullins Marketplace is the next one is going to be the day before. So we usually do it every other Saturday. But on September 26th, Okay, I'm back. Kind of as a kickoff to the Golden Leaf Festival. All right. Now let's talk about that too, because all these little things, the beautification, individual people saying, I see something, I'm going to fix something because I care about my community. Us changing how we handle trash, not putting that big stuff out there and politely telling our neighbors what the rules are. All of that leads to economic development. It's going to help us to be able to get businesses here, to get jobs here. I had a conversation with the um, economic development director in Marion County, and he told me that the median income for the county of Marion for manufacturing, I want to think he said it was $26 an hour. He may have said 22. Let's go 22. But between 22 and $26 an hour. And most of those jobs are not being held by people who live in Marion County. They're coming from outside the county inside in order to get that. And that means a lot, right? So the reason why that's important is because we also are your county, your cities are working together on workforce development, because what we're doing is we're figuring out what the jobs of the future are, right? We're figuring out what we're really good at here in Marion County. And then we need to train our people for those jobs. So the jobs of the future, where we have the best fit is indeed going to be in things like technology, things like distribution centers, forklift, cherry pickers. That's a new term I learned. Forklift, cherry pickers, welding, CDL, all those jobs pay a very nice living wage. So hopefully in the near future, you will hear about workforce development programs where if you have a family member that is stuck in a low wage job or is not working at all, they can attend some training and then boost their family to that next level. And that's the goal. Remember, you all said y'all want jobs. It starts with clean communities, friendly communities. We want people to move their businesses on Main Street and off Main Street and on 76, right? So that's going to take some work on our part. All right. So, really excited about some of that work that is indeed happening. The marketplace is another part of that. So, OBS, Old Brick Square, and Marketplace. Now, I'm going over the time and I'm only halfway done. But I want to take a little bit more time with you guys. So, the Old Brick Square and Marketplace, that's the new park we're building. If you haven't seen this picture, okay. I really don't know where you've been because I talk about it all the time. But anyway, so that is a competitive advantage for us, because when employers and when retailers and people want to open up restaurants, when they're looking at where they're going to move, where they're going to open up a new franchise or where they're going to open up a restaurant, those things are key. They want to know that there's stuff to do. They want to know that there's an opportunity for big crowds, and that's where OBS comes in at. And then if they are going to move here, they want to know that their employees, families have something to do. Those are all things that are really, really important. And so just a quick update on OBS. The only thing we're waiting on for the splash pad is the fence, and I'm so sorry we didn't make this season, but we will be open for next season. It's the fence, the restrooms, they're outside painting, electricals run, plumbing is run. Lights will be going up in 5 weeks, they told me, about 5 weeks for the lights. But in the meanwhile, big ups to folks that have been using OBS. It's out there. It's out there for us to use. We had the soft opening. Erica Nelson and her crew have been walking out there. I actually walked out there one day with Angel Hill and her crew. And the fitness center has been getting some use, which is awesome. Deontay Hemingway. and his crew are using the fitness content, the fitness area. So that is all so exciting. And also, state of the going crazy all around the country is pickleball everywhere. Last year I was on vacation with my family and we couldn't even get an appointment at the pickleball court. You had to book it 3 weeks in advance. Well, guess what? We have a pickleball court right here in the city of Mullins, open for everybody. And if you want to learn the fundamentals, every Saturday from 8 to 11 a.m. at the Gapway Street Complex for an introduction. And then for more, I guess, in-depth training and to actually play, the progress to playing is every Tuesday from 6 to 8, right? So we're doing some things, Mullins, because we will have a playground over at OBS. We're working on a lot. But so we'll have OBS and everything that's out there. We have Smith Haven Park and at the Gapway Rec Center where your kids play soccer and baseball, and I think they play football out there. We also have pickleball. So while the kids are playing, you can go over and play some pickleball. Art contests. Let me see. I got a lot of stuff I wanted to talk to you guys about. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do a part B because I do have an appointment that is here and I don't want to be rude and keep her waiting. Um, All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep it there. And I do want to end with just a thank you to so many of you that are understanding that we're working together and together Mullins will be stronger. It is just awesome, the camaraderie and what's happening in our town. And I'm very, very appreciative of it. Everybody's appreciative of it, and people tell me about naysayers, but at the end of the day, are things better? Do you feel like we're working towards a progress together? I feel like that. Will there be people that, don't like for whatever reason? Yes. But guess what? At the end of the day, those same people will benefit. They will benefit from the improvements that we are all doing together. Want to thank City Council for just, we got a lot of work to do. Our city council may meet, we're scheduled to only meet one time a month, but to do the things that we want to do for the city, we're meeting more often. We have workshops that we're doing. Last thing, strategic economic development plan. For the first time, the city of Mullins is going to have a strategic plan around economic development. And I need you to be involved. It's not on the schedule. And this is the last thing I'm going to end with. So, an economic development strategic plan is your roadmap to success. You cannot, you have to have a goal, right? And this is going to help us to create our goal. We're working with the South Carolina Department of Commerce, and they have hired a contractor, a vendor. The Department of Commerce is paying for it. It's actually about $41,000 for this agreement, for this plan that we're going to have. And then when our plan is done, it's going to be presented to the city as well as on hold at the Department of Commerce, which is awesome because when people want to move to South Carolina, they go to them first. Okay. So there's a couple meetings on September 24th. Let me make sure I got that date right. And then I'm going to hop off. On September 24th, it's coming. There will be a few meetings, and we're actually going to, yes, Wednesday, September 24th. The vendor is coming in. They're going to meet with City Council. They're going to meet with the Executive Committee, the Steering Committee. They're going to meet with businesses. So if you have a business, you definitely need to participate. But they're going to meet with businesses and they're going to meet with the community all in one day. So they're going to get just like a plethora of information about Mullins on site that day. Okay, so that's September 24th. That whole day is dedicated to strategic plan. So hopefully everybody should be able to see themselves in one of those pictures. Either you're an executive committee, which includes our planning board, you're a business owner, you're a community member, or city council. Okay, so please, and the city council meeting will be public. It'll be open to public. So if you want to come and see kind of how the city council is working through these things too. It's going to be public because anytime more than three of us meet together, it has to be public. All right. So again, thank you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I will do a part B in a couple of weeks. And but in the meanwhile, if you guys have any questions about anything that I've said, about anything, going on in the city, the best way to get your information is to contact us. You have amazing employees. I've said that from the very beginning. People work hard for the city of Mullins. And all you got to do is call us. The number is 843-464-9583. Y'all guys have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. And Mullins rocks.